probably fine. I don't know. I don't know if you can hear the fan. I'm not sure yet. I'll have to figure it out in post. But hey, another episode on the Fire Studios channel, and this was pretty exciting because the premise of today's video is a conversation that I had with myself when it came down to YouTube and thumbnails. Okay, so for years I've been doing YouTube, and for years I've taken on the motorcycle channel, I've taken whatever like the best screen grab is, whatever the best screenshot, right? Captured, and whether it's the bike or me riding, most of the time it's POV. It's me riding. I might be going over a bridge, under the overpass, or by a train or something like that, and just something that I thought looked cool. And I got to the point now where I've branched out once in a while. Just depends on timing, because I used to have a schedule, and I do far better not having a schedule and then just uploading whenever I get a chance to, especially how busy I can be. And it takes a lot of stress away, and I get to be more intentional. And that's one of the things with this channel is, and the other channel too now at this point, is to be more intentional with what I put out there as far as like the cover, right? The cover, the thumbnail, YouTube thumbnail. So what I wanted to do was I watched another motovlog, so a motovlogger, and this person in particular was having a discussion with, the people that watch her, and it started out like anything else. It was kind of a talking head, I guess, maybe a little bit different than usual, but she started getting into the point where she was talking about pesky comments. And I'll edit on this screen, and then I'll watch YouTube over here, or something else is, half paying attention, in and out. But when she used the word pesky comments, it like obviously captured my attention, captivated me a bit. And I was like, whoa, that's like something that you probably don't want to tell, the people that are following you and supporting you. And what it came down to is her basically them saying, when are you going to upload next? And I made a whole video on this, and this is the whole premise of this video. I made a video discussing, my thoughts of this, and how YouTube is, I would venture to say that YouTube is her main source of income, and variations of YouTube, like when it comes to sponsorship, memberships, Patreon, like all the other stuff, like it all boiled down to like YouTube in general. And I used to think that, like, I thought that would be cool to do full time once I retire, not anytime soon. I got 9 years left, but I thought that would be awesome to be able to do. And it absolutely has to be supplemental income, and cannot be, live and die based on paying your bills based on YouTube, because I think it changes you. It has to change you, because she has to upload videos to make money. If she doesn't upload it, or she doesn't have the drive, the inspiration, something doesn't pull her in a certain direction, then she doesn't make any money, or it's a little bit of money in the past, and that dries up with your library. So to be fresh, to be new, to come out with something new, traveling the country, go to all these places and stuff like that's her thing. And without spending money to essentially make a video and to make money, it doesn't come in. Or sponsorship says, hey, I need you to make X amount of videos within 60 days, 30 days, 90 days, whatever. And make sure you mention us, by name, and have a little ad and all that other stuff. And I remember thinking how awesome it'd be to be able to create for a living, and to do motovlogs specifically before this channel, well before this channel. And now I see that the weight, the stress of somebody saying like, hey, when's your next upload? Most people would think that, hey, that's a fan of the channel, somebody that's following that person for a while, for years, supporting and kind of like showing their support. It could be taken two different ways. One is just nobody's ever, you never can't please everybody and all this other stuff, or they're waiting for something, something else. And even though this person probably had hundreds of videos in the past, this person and the other person probably hadn't seen but half of those, let's say, if they were like, following for a while. But, it came down to like, it really like pressured her. And she was talking about how like physically it has a toll on her and all this other stuff. And I thought that I wanted to talk about this, and I wanted to, instead of doing a screen grab like I typically do, I wanted to take a picture. I wanted to try to like I'm new to all this, but I wanted to do something to portray instead of something worth like clicking, right? I wanted something that described the mood. So I was thinking, shot of the motorcycle with the camera, right? The Nikon, not a GoPro snapshot or screen grab, but I wanted to be more of storytelling, and that's really what I enjoy about this channel, is to be able to do some storytelling. Although it's maybe a journey on my way to, creating, imagery or something like that when it comes to, I say, photography, but videos and drone shots are going to be in here too and stuff like that to tell the story. The bulk of it, I want to be a photographer. I want to learn how to be a better photographer, or a photographer in general. So I went to the garage and I got the motorcycle obviously there, and I brought props that I think I would need. So low denomination dollar bills, right? Couple dollars and a $5 bill, some change. Pennies were important. Pennies, matchsticks, bills, an envelope for like a bill, and matchsticks would be like burning the candle on both ends, one of those deals, and a pack of nabs, one of those things, like, so like eating cheap and stuff like that. And then I had a picture of the GoPro and stuff. So I went to the garage, I filmed all this process. I got a bunch of pictures. Lighting was an issue, learning how to take the right angle, the bike being on the kickstand so it slides down, the money wouldn't stay on the tank, because I really, in my head, I had this great picture, and I don't necessarily have the correct equipment to be able to do all this professionally, but I still can do it to the best of my ability at my current stage, my level. So I went to the garage, I got my lens, which is 11 to 16 millimeter crop sensor camera, the Nikon D5600, older camera, as I stated. So I'm learning what that equates to. 11 millimeter doesn't equate to 11 millimeters. It's somewhere 11 to 16 might be closer to a 35 millimeter. Don't quote me on that. So I'm learning all this. So I'm having to like physically zoom in, and then I can only zoom so much. So I have to like go closer to the camera, or go closer to the subject, right? With all the items that I put on the bike, and the coins are sliding down, and I abandoned that because I don't want to scratch the tank with the coins and stuff, for this. And I learned, I took like 50 plus. I think it said 75. I had a couple pictures based on some other stuff I was practicing in the backyard, but I'm sure it was somewhere between 60, 65 pictures that I had taken. And I got some with Fallon in the back. She was whining because she didn't want to like go in the garage and all the other stuff. But so she's in the background of the final one that I picked. But I took a bunch, and a lot of them were terrible. Most of them were terrible. Honestly, out of let's just say round number 50. Out of 50 that I took, there's probably about 3 that were probably like potentially passable. And out of the 3, I picked one, and then I just took it in Lightroom and I edited that way. Went to Photoshop, added some text, and there it was. Did it work? I don't know. You can see I'm adding whatever I have some footage of. But I did some screen recording of Lightroom. I'm adding that, and it was fun. Overall, it was fun. It was a learning experience, of course, and trying to show, like, I know I could have done a better job. I did it here, and if I could done it again, I would have probably worked with some weights. Being able to like put the bill or whatever, the envelope. I could have put the envelope and put like some sort of weight, and then put the dollar over that and taped it to the weight so that it didn't go anywhere. And I could have put it outside so it didn't blow away. And I could have been more, I could have done better about placement. It's had an angle, all the other stuff. I could have, maybe held it straight up and taken a picture with, my hand or something. I don't know. It gets confusing a little bit. One of the things I definitely learned was I'm so used to the video side, the action camera, the GoPro, the Insta360 cameras, where you go on Lightroom. You go to Adobe Premiere Pro and you put it in, and it's a 16:9 aspect ratio. Well, when I take these pictures, I goofed up because in pictures in the past that I've taken, usually it's a screenshot from the drone, for example. That's like my tripod, that I've referenced before. But that drone is still a video, so when I take that screen grab from that, it fits on a 16:9 aspect ratio. But when I take a picture, it's a 3x2. And I was like, I had no idea. I had no idea because I come from the world of action cameras and in video, essentially. So seeing that was a difference where now I have to learn. I couldn't zoom in anymore because I zoomed in enough to capture the seat, the items on the seat, and I wanted to get the tank, the motorcycle tank, some handlebars so you can see what it is, the brick, the back of my fireplace on the garage side so that you see the brick work and stuff, and then my dog's slightly out of focus, which is awesome and gets to be a part of the thumbnail or whatever, the final product. But shooting at 3x2, I can't zoom in anymore or start cutting off important parts to fill that 16:9 aspect ratio. So I had to try to be somewhat clever, and I got a background from Canva, and I use Lightroom, Photoshop, and Canva. I try to ditch Canva. That's a whole different conversation. But there's a lot of like good things on Canva that still help me out. So I just pay the yearly thing. And this saved my bacon a little bit here too, because I'm sure I could have generated something through Photoshop, be honest with you. But I had a marble background, and I darkened it down, the exposure, darkened it down, darkened the shadows, darkened the black. So it fits pretty good. And to the naked eye, especially on a motovlog channel where you're not critiquing imagery and stuff like that, I think it does a pretty good job hiding the fact that I had a 3x2. So in the future, I learned that if I'm going to do photography and I'm going to take that picture, that snapshot, I need to make sure I'm further back than I want to. Than the desire of the image. I need to be further back so I can crop in, I can zoom in, I can crop in and fill the void to make it a 16:9, if that's the point I'm doing. Yeah, so learned a lot, learned about the aspect ratio was big, taking my time, in my head, it coming out completely different, and then just trying to do the best I can with what I have. That's going to be a thing, because in my head, it was such a good idea, and the final picture, thumbnail, whatever, it didn't feel the excitement I had in my head. It still was exciting to do that. The process was amazing. The process was so much fun, but the actual like outcome, I was like, man, it was so much better in my head. And I know that it's potentially, it could be equipment, it could be a skill, more so skill. I can get better at it, and that's what this is. Whatever this is, that's what this channel. I assume that's what this channel is about. So super excited to put this together, do the B-roll, do the extra, charging all my batteries, which is awesome. I love that. I don't know why. I'm a geek for charging batteries, and just having fun. I'm having so much fun. I have so much to learn, but this makes me dislike. This fills my cup. This fills my cup. Absolutely fills my cup. So many more to come. I told myself I wanted to do 13 episodes on the studio channel, one per month, one intro, and here I am, episode 7, and it's February 11th. So it's awesome.